All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Houston Rockets in tonight's video. Reed Shepard the other night drafted third overall. They flipped their mid-second round pick for AJ Griffin. By the way, Reed Shepard's going to be an absolute dog. We're definitely going to be talking about him in just a second. But real quick, here's a friendly reminder. The Rockets lineup in 2021, Steven Silas's first season, when James Harden got traded, Anthony Lamb, KJ Martin, Kelly Olynyk, Daquan Jeffries, and DJ Augustin. Reed Shepard, to me, is a huge move for the Houston Rockets. Like, absolutely huge move. Guys, Reed Shepard broke the college record for the highest single season three-point percent from a player drafted in the first round. Reed Shepard took 4.5 threes per game in Kentucky last season, shot 52.1% from downtown. The advanced statistics are even better. NBA range threes, he took 81 attempts, 49.4%. Catch and shoot threes, over 100 attempts taken, 51.4%. Unguarded catch and shoot threes, 57.5%. Guarded catch and shoot threes, 46%. Corner threes, 52%. Like, this dude, Reed Shepard, is a literal freaking animal. And when you look at the projected 10-man rotation this upcoming season, you got Freddie, Jalen Green, who's only 22, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., who literally like 1 month ago turned 21 years old. Jabari Smith Jr. is 21, folks. Alperen Şengün, 22 years old. I mean, this team is freaking... They're literally loaded, guys. Before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NBA content, NFL content, and Rockets videos on my Houston Rockets daily channel. Then your bench mob, Amen Thompson, 21, Reed Shepard, 20, like literally just turned it. Cam Whitmore, 20, Tari Eason, 23, Steven Adams, the OG veteran. The Rockets have a really competent, capable roster. And here's my big issue, because I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it. Like, for us Rocket fans, Reed Shepard at 3 was literally exactly and pretty much the only thing we wanted, right? If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, Jabari Smith Jr. was the projected #1 overall pick. The Houston Rockets had a bunch of interest in Paolo Banchero. It was leaked pre-draft that they loved him. Paolo Banchero ends up going pick #1, and Jabari Smith Jr. ends up going pick 3. So Rafael Stone, who on Twitter, for some crazy reason, gets an absurd amount of backlash, which I literally have yet to even understand why he gets so much backlash. What he ends up doing, he kind of throws this smoke screen out that the Rockets are interested in Donovan Clingan. And, before you know it, Reed Shepard, the Rockets are on the clock. We heard Rafael Stone post-draft say, if Reed Shepard wasn't available at pick #3, we either would have traded down, or we probably, could have just traded out of the entire NBA draft. So Rafael Stone, once again, got his guy. They pulled off a masterclass in last year's NBA draft. They drafted Amen Thompson with the 4th overall pick. And then for like the silliest, goofiest reasons imaginable, Cam Whitmore falls onto their freaking laps in the mid-late first round. But one big knock that everyone has on Houston, and guys, obviously I'm not talking about Houston fans, I'm not talking about Rocket fans, or even aware NBA fans. Everybody wants this team to trade for Mikal Bridges. Everybody wants them to trade for a Kevin Bleepin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Paul George. And here's what I want to say for my opinion on the Houston Rockets. The Rockets love to get compared to the Houston or the OKC Thunder. So if we're going to compare the OKC Thunder to the Houston Rockets, like, yeah, obviously Chet had a phenomenal rookie season. Shea is, like a solidified star. We're still waiting for Şengün to turn into a star, like a solidified star, by the way, because he is a star. We're, kind of waiting and seeing what Jalen Green has in store for his 4th season. So I get it. We're still a little bit away as far as player development goes. But OKC Thunder 2 years ago won 40 basketball games. They lost to, I believe, Minnesota in the play-in. Last season, they were the second best win differential team. They won 57 games. The OKC Thunder won 57 games last season. So if we're using the same kind of timeline here, Houston just won 41 games. It was the biggest win differential in the NBA with 18 plus 18 in the wins column. I'm going for 50 wins this upcoming season. I don't want to hear anything about Brandon Ingram, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges. Obviously, now he got traded to the New York Knicks. But you get my point here. We're a year away from being a year away. We're a year away from making those types of decisions. And so that's why you don't see an Alperen Şengün contract extension. That's why you don't see Jalen Green either get a contract extension or flip for a guy like Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker. You don't want to give up on this, right? Jalen Green 4 years ago was the second overall pick in this year's draft. Jalen Green in the second half of last season, folks, if Jalen Green plays the way he did in the second half of last season, with or without Şengün, I don't give a rat's ass, the Rockets make the playoffs. If Şengün plays all 82 games, or you get what I mean, if he didn't get injured at the end of last season, the Rockets make the playoffs. Or they make the play-in because the West is freaking loaded. If Tari Eason plays more than 22 games last season, the Houston Rockets make the playoffs. So what I want to see from Houston this upcoming season is not a big-time move for a trade where you're getting this injury-prone player who's going to want a bunch of money that isn't really even going to move the needle that much more than kind of the unpredictability of these young players. Like, fellas, Jalen Green had a phenomenal second half. Alperen Şengün is a phenomenal basketball player. Jabari Smith Jr. shot 36% from downtown in the second half last season, post All-Star break. Jabari Smith Jr. literally, folks, 1 month ago turned 21 years old. And if you ask a non-Rockets fan their thoughts on Jabari, bust. Jalen Green, bust. They're all busts. This bench mob of Amen Thompson, Reed Shepherd, who's going to be mentored like a freaking beast by Freddie Double V, Rockford's finest, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason. There's too much talent in this now core, kind of quote unquote 7 to make a crazy move like that. I think in today's era of all sports, basketball, football, whatever, you have these kind of random outliers. Like if we're using, an NFL comp, CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, you went from one of the worst teams in the NFL to one of the most intriguing best teams in the league because you got your quarterback. But these are outliers, right? CJ Stroud is probably going to be a phenomenal multi-Pro Bowl quarterback. But people want these results immediately. And in the sense of the Houston Rockets, the reason I started this video talking about the 2021 midseason lineup of, DJ Augustine and Anthony Lamb and KJ Martin is just to kind of point the picture of what Houston really looked like 3 years ago. And the fact that Houston went from one of the worst teams in the NBA last season to winning 41 games with a brand new head coach, brand new free agent additions, dealing with a multitude of different injuries at every position it felt like last season. The Rockets' future is probably the brightest in the entire NBA. And I don't even want to use like OKC as an example because OKC was the best team in basketball or the best team in the West. They just won 57 freaking games. You make a move for AJ Griffin. He's not in the 10-man rotation, but you're picking up a young kid who's a phenomenal shooter. Like Rafael Stone's just making genius freaking magician level moves that Rocket fans are aware of because that was our lineup in 2021. That I think, people are just forgetting about the Houston Rockets. People want them to go star chase. Rafael Stone and the Rockets organization are trying to win, not for 1 year. They're trying to win for like a decade. And I love it. So hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NBA Rockets content. But let me know, how many wins will the Houston Rockets total this upcoming season? Peace.